There's a test match going on, I know, and it's a pretty dramatic test match. But all attention really has been focused on the retentions, the releases, what are the teams going to do next year, what slots do they need to fill. There's something about the IPL and the loyalty it generates. So I'll give you my key takeaways in this little blog. Two key takeaways for me. The teams that did well, that had wonderful auctions, that got to the semi-final, they really haven't done very much. You look at Mumbai Indians, you look at Punjab Kings, you look at RCB, you look at Gujarat Titans. Not a lot of movements. Two storied teams, CSK and KKR, multiple winners in the past, and there's a complete reset there. So those are my two key stories. Let's look at the four teams that made the semi-finals then last year. I think RCB are ready to take the field just now. I know they'll have a little bit of tinkering. They've left out Liam Livingston. That was pretty much on the cards. They might look at maybe a powerful top order batter. I know they've got Bethel. He could fit in there. But they've got Padikkal and Patidar should something happen there. If they want to fit an overseas player in there, then maybe look for another Indian bowler. But that's really tinkering. They've got 16 crores left with really not a lot to do there. Almost all bases covered. They've got a lot of power in their batting. And as I said, I think they're absolutely ready to take the field right now. Neither does Mumbai Indians have anything to do. They're going in actually with only 2.75 crores because they did a lot of their work with the trades. They've got in Sherfane Rutherford, if required, for a slot in the middle. They've got one overseas player slot left. And I think they'll be looking for a backup for Trent Bolt, who's been a magnificent servant for Mumbai Indians, but maybe that's the only slot they'll be looking at. There's a lot of options there. So really, apart from that, I think it's a very settled side. In spite of making the playoffs, I thought they underperformed a little bit last year, but they're all set. The big thing for me with Punjab Kings was Josh Inglis. Now, I'd like to know the story, honestly, behind Josh Inglis because he was fantastic for them. Power player, he's a big keeper as well. Can be at number 3. Shreyas moved down to allow him to play at number 3 last year, and I thought he did really well for Punjab Kings. So maybe there's an availability issue. I don't know, because that suddenly has got my antenna up. I don't know why they would want to leave out someone like a Josh Inglis. True, Punjab have left out Glenn Maxwell, because I think a lot of franchises were now starting to run out of patience. Maxwell of Australia, wow. I'd always want Maxwell in my franchise side, but I just think people have started, I don't know which Maxwell's turning up. Am I going to get this wow fielder, brilliant game-changing batter, very reliable 2-3 over spinner, or am I just going to get someone, I don't know what side of the bed he's turned up from. So I wonder if some other franchise will show a bit of it, but I can see why Punjab Kings have let go. But otherwise, Punjab, not too many changes there either. They'll do a little tinkering here and there, but they're ready as well. Which leaves us with our fourth team, which is Gujarat Titans. And my one surprise there was a player who did well for them, actually, Sherfane Rutherford. Because if you look at that side, fantastic top 3 in Shubman Gill, Sai Sudarshan, Joss Butler, then a little bit of a muddle there. And that is where Sherfane Rutherford came in very handy. Shahrukh had some good innings. But I was a little surprised they let go of Rutherford. Maybe they're clearing the decks for a return for David Miller. And maybe they'll look for that big middle order player. But otherwise, not a lot of work there to do for Gujarat Titans as well. They've got 13 crores as a purse, but they don't need to do a lot. So there you are. Those were the top 4. Now let's come to the 2 major stories. Chennai Super Kings. They went through a phase where they looked a little dated and they struck gold with their mid-season replacements. It came a little late, especially because Ruturaj Gaikwad was gone, but they struck gold with Brevis and Matre, and they realized that the game has changed a lot. They need this power game going. So now they've given themselves, with the Sanju Samson trade, they've given themselves a pretty powerful top 5 with Matre, Samson, Gaikwad, Brevis and Dubey. But Jadeja, Curran, I know they've got Noor Ahmed, but they've got a lot of work to do. But they've got the purse in the auction. I'm looking at Chennai Super Kings. They've got 43.4 crores in there. And I think they'd be looking for spinners. It's not easy to get a replacement for Jadeja. And with spinners, there's a lot of teams that are looking for spinners. But they've got the purse in there because they've released Pathirana. They've got Ellis there. I don't know if they'll want to put put all their faith in Ellis as their death bowler. But they're going to have to fill their bowlers in. I think the core top order batting is looking after itself, but they'll have to do a lot of work. They've let go a lot of players. It's very unlike CSK. They love Devon Conway. They let go Devon Conway. I thought they might have kept Rachin Ravindra, given he was just 4 crores, but letting go of Patirana. I just wonder whether they think that he's injury prone, whether the promise has not quite translated into the kind of performance they thought they would have, or whether they want to buy him back at a lower price. But they've got a lot of work to do, CSK. On the other hand, KKR, they've just done a clean out, haven't they? Their bowling is still looking after itself. They've got with Sunil Narayan, with Varun Chakravarti, with Harshit Rana, with Vaibhav Arora, they've got something there, but they've let go all their wicket keepers. So what do KKR need to do here? They've got 64 crores. I think they'll be looking for a bigger role there for Rinku Singh and for Rovman Powell, who's been in pretty good form, but they're in the market for a wicket keeper. Maybe a captain, unless they're perfectly happy with Rahane and want to go through with Rahane as an opener because he was the leading run scorer last year. But you look at that team and you say, where is Andre Russell? That's the big thing. Venkatesh Iyer was going to go, but Andre Russell was a big call. And the reason it's a big call is they've looked at Andre Russell's life cycle and they just think that an inflection point has already been reached and he's on his way down and they need to let go of him. They play with Russell in Trinbago Knight Riders, but obviously there's been some discussion that's reached there. It's a huge call, but I think it's the right call for the Kolkata Knight Riders. And you can see the decks are clear for 2 big buys for KKR. Cameron Green and Jamie Smith as the 2 overseas big stars. I think Jamie Smith's a fine player. I think Cameron Green is a fine player. The decks are there. But my view is that next year, the whole batting lineup of KKR would look a bit different. But I think Cameron Green and Jamie Smith is what they're looking at primarily. But this is a big clean out. KKR is another team, much like Mumbai Indians, much like Chennai Super Kings. They don't make too many changes. You're going to see a big new team, KKR. This auction is huge for CSK and KKR. As big, if not bigger, given what has happened, than the main auction for them. The other surprise for me has come from Rajasthan Royals, who actually I think are looking very good with the continued development of Vaibhav Suryavanshi. He's looking a very, very special player. The trade-in of Sam Curran, if he has a good season, he's a fantastic player, and Ravindra Jadeja. But I didn't think they'd let go of both Theekshana and Hasaranga. My gut feel was Theekshana might go, but they'd retain Hasaranga. So there's obviously something they know there because Hasaranga of Sri Lanka is a vastly superior player to Hasaranga at the IPL. So I just wonder if they've seen something there because I would have retained Hasaranga, especially given the fact that they need that spin bowling combination. I thought Hasaranga Jadeja would have been a good combination. So they'll be out in the market for a spin bowler competing with lots of other people because I think the batting looks after itself. They're looking a very good side this year, Rajasthan Royals. Backup for Jofra Archer. Ensure that they've got some Indian pace bowling options, a little bit more than they already have. But otherwise, from a batting point of view, Rajasthan Royals are looking very good. That leaves us with Delhi Capitals, Sunrisers, LSG. Sunrisers have kept a lot of faith. They've let go of Shami. That's no surprise at all. I think they figured out that maybe they were not getting a lot out of Shami. They were a little worried about his fitness. He was fantastic for Gujarat Titans, but hadn't done a lot for them. Makes sense for LSG as well because they've got a whole roster of fast bowlers. But LSG have kept Yadav and Mohsin, who were injured so often. And so they needed that additional fast bowling support. So you can see why they have gone in for Shami. But the Sunrisers need a little bit more fast bowling because you don't know with Pat Cummins, but he's come back from injury. He'll have played the T20 World Cup maybe. He'll have already played a lot of the Ashes. So they'll want to sort of look at that fast bowling a little bit. One of the developments for LSG last year was the decline of Ravi Bishnoi. Now, if you have one bad season, it doesn't make you a bad bowler because I saw Ravi Bishnoi and every time he played for India, he was delivering. So I think Bishnoi will be a hot choice. He'll want to go to somewhere he's loved because he needs to pick his career up. His career, which was just going up, 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 has just sort of fallen off like that. So he needs some love. He needs some support. But with so many franchises looking for spin bowlers, I think Ravi Bishnoi will join Venkatesh Iyer and some of the other overseas players as a much sought after pick. So LSG have some work to do. DC have some work to do as well. Not a lot because they've retained their core. They've released some power hitters up at the top. So they might be in the market for some player like that. There's one other player who's has the potential to be a fantastic T20 purchase, but almost everybody has given up on him because they think he's too much hard work. But I see a few teams needing that kind of player. So I just wonder, and he's shown very good form for Maharashtra early on, whether teams would take a punt on Prithvi Shaw. If he wasn't hard work, he'd be getting a big buy anyway. But watch out for Prithvi Shaw as well in the auctions. So there you are. Those were the retentions, releases. It's made for a very interesting auction on the 16th of December.
So thank you for watching and do subscribe to this channel.